Have you ever prepped for a conversation that you're going to have with someone that you're a little bit nervous about? And maybe you visualize, maybe you go over in your head what you're going to say, and you feel really confident. And then you're in the same room with that person, and suddenly you feel like you're shrinking, your tongue is tied, you don't know what you're talking about. And then you leave feeling defeated, confused, and what the heck happened? Leader, if you can resonate with this, please stick around for this episode because we're going to talk about why does this happen and what you can do about it. Welcome to the Magnetic Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Jeffs. I've been working with top performers for over 12 years, and I help high performers go from being a high achiever to being truly influential. And part of being influential is being confident and comfortable and articulate in rooms with anybody. And a big part of the work that I do with clients who want to master this skill, because it's interesting. Most of my clients, it's a paradox. They know that they're the best at what they do. And at the same time, they have wild and crazy imposter syndrome and will second guess themselves and often shrink in rooms and put people on pedestals for no other reason than they are running a program where they were taught at some time that if this person has this or that or this, that they are somehow above. So some of the reasons why we put other people on pedestals is they make more money, they have a higher level of education, they have a higher role in an organization or company. They have done certain things that you view as being incredibly important or special. Or sometimes we put people on pedestals for what they look like, or what their body looks like, or the car that they drive, the house that they have, whatever the case is. So the first thing we need to do is take everyone off of a pedestal. One of the most healing things that has ever happened to me in my life is when I started working with individuals, clients, amazing clients, incredible clients started to come to me. And at first I was like, wow, I can't believe that this person who's achieved so much is coming to me for help. And when I started working with these individuals, I started to realize, oh, everybody has the same problems. Everyone's going through the same things. Human problems, regardless of how much money they make, what their role is, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things you need to remember is if you're putting someone on a pedestal, you're automatically putting yourself at a level below. This is going to do nothing for your influence. Okay. And it can also make us feel like we need to perform or we need to impress. And that can take away from our genuine magnetism, our genuine abilities, our real, true, authentic confidence. If we feel when we are going into a room that we need to perform in a certain way, forget about it. This is when we are attached to the outcome, when we get in our head. The worst, I tell the story often, so you might have heard it. The worst interview I ever had was when I was so attached to the outcome that I completely got into my head. I was so tongue-tied I could feel as I was talking in this interview, my face becoming red and hot. And I saw the people who were interviewing me. Now, mind you, typically up until this point, I would kill interviews. I would be so calm, cool, collected in interviews that often I was offered that position before I even made it home. So being in this interview and feeling like the ground was falling out and I just wanted to crawl into a closet and hide under a blanket and never come out, it was very uncomfortable for me, but it was a really, really great learning lesson that one, we have to take people off pedestals. We have to completely detach from the outcome, because when we detach from the outcome, we stop performing and we start to be ourself. Our natural magnetism comes out. And this is the key that I want to leave you with in this episode is often when we have these conversations and we completely are in our head, we are in our world, we feel like we're shrinking, we're not sure what we're saying. And there's reasons for this, right? This is some of the deeper work that I do with clients is we start to do the healing and the integration work, which is why this is happening. But for this episode, I want you to realize that all of our attention is in here, right? We're going in, we are focused inward. We're concerned about how we look. We're concerned about what we are saying. We're concerned about how the other person is perceiving us. If you are a highly sensitive leader, an HSP, which I know many of my audience are, they're either highly sensitive or they are intuitive or empathic. You're picking up all the little micro moments. Often you can be making meaning toward it that is not the actual truth of the situation, especially when we are internally focused. This can throw you off even more. I have had conversations with people where we are not even face to face, we're on a Zoom. And if I've been too attached to the outcome of that conversation, I am picking up every little tiny micro moment that they are doing with their face, and it will throw me off. If that is you, if you're like, oh my God, this sounds like that conversation I had, and I was just so embarrassed after, and it just was a hot mess express, I want you to practice this because the more we are internally focused on us, we're not actually connecting with the person. We're not having a conversation. We are simply projecting something and we're trying to make it seem a certain way. And while that is okay, this is how most people communicate. It is not going to make you influential. It is not going to make you remembered. It is certainly not going to make you trusted, which we absolutely want if we are a leader who wants to make a difference. So I want you to bring the attention from here outward, right? This is a practice of bringing it from here outward to the actual person. Again, this is a skill that you learn, you train for it. This is what we do in my coaching programs. This is what I do with my one-on-one clients. This is training. Don't expect to know exactly or master the skill right off the bat. You could absolutely master it the first time you do it, but it is a practice where you are leaning in. You have to get yourself out of the own inner narrative of, I need to look a certain way. I need to be a certain way. I have to be X, Y, Z to achieve X, Y, Z. Right? This is when we get into performance and it can just start to feel weird and awkward and uncomfortable. And especially if you are highly sensitive or empathic, it can be exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. We don't want to be acting like this. We want to be our natural, authentic power state, which is the natural state of who you are, which is powerful, which is magnetic. And we do that by turning the attention outward onto the person. If a company has called me in for leadership training or executive coaching, and often I'll go into a new environment and I know that I can go in and do an amazing job because ultimately business is people and I am in the business of people. So when I go into these environments, I'm not worried about, am I looking a certain way? Am I sitting up straight? Do I seem like I know what I'm talking about? Can I convince this person that I'm the exact person to solve the problem that they're calling me in for? I come in and I'm leaning in and I'm paying attention to what the person is saying. So my attention is not in here, it's on them. I'm looking at their facial expression. I'm leaning in and making eye contact. I'm listening to them so I understand what they're saying. I'm listening to them so I'm hearing what isn't being said. I'm paying attention and I'm being present with them because I want them to have an experience with me where they leave that connection and say, wow, there's something different about that person. And this isn't something different in a performative way. This is something different because most people are not present with each other. Most people are not actually listening. Most people are not connected to what the person is saying and leaning in and really hearing what isn't being said. Most people are internal, either worried about what they're saying or how they're appearing, or they just want to get a point across, their point, and they're not really trying to understand where the other person is coming from. So if you want to be a leader who's truly influential, that people remember, and people, when they hear your name, they think, you know what? Let's call that person back. I want to talk to that person. Or it- that person made a huge impact in my life. If you want to be that person, then you got to take the intention from you and practice bringing it outward. I hope this was helpful, leader. I know that as you practice this and as you put it into place, things will shift. You will start to appear different to people. You will start to stand up straighter in these conversations, and you will make an impact that is remembered. You will move from being a top performer to being truly influential. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope this resonates. And if you'd like for me to answer a specific question you have on the podcast, you can head on over to our podcast website. And in the show notes, you can send us a text message. I appreciate you. And as always, let's stay connected.